I've always been a very competitive person, and growing up here in Hawaii was challenging for me. I used to get punked a lot by locals, and so I finally got fed up with it and just started becoming real kind of pugnacious, and just would only take so much at a certain point. I think that feistiness has kind of served me well through competition. I like to challenge myself always, Otherwise life is boring if you don't have the challenges. If you're motivated, you can do just about anything, right? So main thing is being able to stimulate your motivation. And that just has to be in alignment with what you want to do in life. I still want to go out, I want to enjoy, I want to be able to do the maneuvers I want to do and still progress, So in order to do that, the older I get, the more I got to work on my body physically and mentally as well, keeping a nice balance.
I'm buck wild, honey child, ain't a line that I won't cross.
Set up a goal down the beach, say it's a rock or something, and you walk down there, but then when you look back at your path, you'll notice that it's not straight, it goes like this. So as you go through life, you're making these adjustments, right? And it's just part of the process of getting to where you want to go.
This is the payoff.
I think any goal that you set out to accomplish and you accomplish it is very satisfying. It's like signposts, failure and success can be indicators to your path. If you're succeeding, then you're on the right path, you're doing correct. And if you're failing, then that's also an indicator, right? Okay, that's not working, you got to change your direction. So both, winning and losing is really important. Probably the more important lessons are the ones you lose, because sometimes if you win, you might not win entirely because you're on the right path, but for some other reason. And you don't really realize it. But when you lose, you know for sure, I blew it here, And as long as you can learn what that is that made you not accomplish what you wanted to, then it's a positive experience.
This is the payoff.
Your goal is to be world champion, and you're climbing this hill to get there. When you first reach that destination, it's incredibly invigorating and hard to put into words how exhilarating it is. But after that, you reach a goal, and then now what? You're kind of reaching for the next thing. So really that process of trying to get there is really the most vibrant in your life, because you're striving to get to a goal and fighting for it and learning and progressing, and then you finally get there, which is an awesome feeling, but it's short-lived. That initial feeling of actually obtaining your goal is short-lived. You can always look back on it and say, yeah, that was cool. But things are so relative. Like, I look at some things, and just in the scale of things, it's pretty insignificant, really, in terms of like society in general. So main thing is, I think that whole progressive path to get into your goal is like probably the best part.
If you surf 4 to 5 foot waves and your goal is to surf 80-foot jaws, once you surf 80-foot jaws, that's not even the cool part. The part where you go from like 5 feet to 8 foot to 10 foot to 12 foot, and you have all those experiences and sessions at different breaks all around, that's the cool part. That's the magic. That's the part that you remember. You don't even remember the 80-foot jaws at the end. You remember all the work it took to get there.
It's hard, but it's gratifying. And then you reach a climax in that, and it's an incredible feeling. After that, you kind of feel a little lost, and you got to recalibrate and then set more goals.
Kelly's the focus master, you know, like he's 11-time world champion. He's able to sacrifice so many important things in his life to achieve goals, and he does it better than anybody.
Well, I've known Kelly really since the beginning of his career. And so I've known him and watched his entire career from beginning to now. I'm not going to say to end, because clearly his career is still going. And talk about focus. There is a guy with more focus and commitment for his sport than anyone I've ever met. He is the master of keeping distractions out of his life. I don't know how he does it.
When he really has a goal and sets a goal for himself, he's able to focus like no other. He has laser-like focus, where everything in his life falls by the wayside except that goal.
Doesn't matter, you know, it's family, it's business, everything is secondary to surfing. And that's how his surfing has stayed at that high level because of that focus. With a sport that's evolved so quickly and so far, and he's been able to stay current with it. Not many athletes in a sport that dynamic and changing could stay with it. I'm not sure any could.
It's really hard to do that. A lot of people don't have that capacity. That sacrifice has really come at a cost. All those world titles have come at a cost in his life, you know, with relationships and family and a lot of things that he's now becoming much more important, you know. And now you see it, you know, he's not as focused on one specific goal, and so he has like a much broader focus on different things in his life. And, you know, I think he's a lot happier now, but he's achieved so much, so it's interesting.
Kelly's all along been pretty aware of how good he's got it and has done everything possible to keep that ball rolling. Even to this day, he's so hard to tie down, to get on the phone or to commit to something. Super private, absolutely controlling of his time, but that's what it takes, you know, to be at that level for that long, and especially at his current age. Amazing. Yeah, he's a guy that's definitely got control of his life. Surfing owes him a lot. Everybody always says that and knows it, but it doesn't go to his head. I don't think you could really accomplish what he has without being humble enough to understand the importance of all the other things that come into play, not just wave riding itself. I mean, he's a master in more ways than just surfing. Like, he's mastered the art of social behavior as well. Like, he understands people, he loves that part of it, and that's something, you know, me, I've been kind of more of a reclusive, I think I'm a little more shy or something, I don't know, but he's really mastered that, and that's something that I admire, because really in this world and society, it's hard to go places without people. You'd think that after all his accolades and stuff that he might not be a good human, but he's actually a really good human.
Now that I've gotten older, I definitely really enjoy spending time with some of the younger generation, like some of the kids coming up, pushing them just to the edge of their comfort zone. And I've been organizing a kids surfing event where I live on the Big Island for this year. We just wrapped up our 24th year. I started the event because there was nothing in my community that was like it. There was the really like hyper competitive and kind of expensive to enter, and so a lot of the local kids where I live weren't able to enter. They don't have much money and they can't do all those events, and so I wanted to have once a year a free event that was like my friends that were pros would come over and help out and be there with the kids and be able to talk to them and surf with them and have a ton of prizes and just have a really fun day of competition, but not so focused on winning, you know, and more about a great day for the kids and enjoying it and meeting pros and just having the overall experience, you know, so I love doing it.
I'm at right now, and as I get older, for sure sharing my knowledge with the riders coming up is huge, and it's kind of really what kind of inspires me most these days, you know, just trying to help the next generation foster their growth. And you know, a lot of times you'll go through life and you might run into stumbling blocks or barriers, and it's helpful, you know, to just keep in mind that you can't always do it yourself, and there's other people that have gone on that journey before you. Take advantage of their knowledge, and you can use the lessons that they've learned to apply to your own scenario. On the land, I'm a mess. No. On the land, it's hard because I got a lot of things going on here. In the water, it's pretty easy. I feel good in the water.